New on Curiosity Stream.
I'm James Burke. I'm going to take you on a journey through time.
James Burke's visionary series returns, reimagined for our time.
Now, this is all uncharted territory.
The Washington Post hails Burke as one of the most intriguing minds in the Western world. The New York Times raves he careens from one great moment in history to another.
Where do we want to go from here?
Experience all new connections.
So what's the next connection?
With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibis? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Before we get started, y'all, I'm going to show you my shirt if you're on YouTube. There you go. Sandy from Greece. I am heartbroken. I have to tell you guys, when I was a kid, we had a laser disc that had Grease on it, then VHS. And it was one of the, I tell my kids, we didn't have streaming. We had, basic cable. So you watched your DVD, or not DVDs. See, I'm so old, y'all. Your laser disc or your VHS over and over and over. Grease 1 and Grease 2. I watched nonstop, and Grease was my favorite. She was my idol growing up. I bought every album. Little funny story before we get started. By the way, I played Rizzo in a local production of Grease. It was fun. I was in church as a kid. My parents went to a Baptist church when I was a child, and I was in Sunday school, and I was singing Physical by Olivia Newton-John at the top of my lungs, by the way, and had no idea what I was singing about. And so the Sunday school teacher was like, yeah, not the best song to sing in the Lord's house. So anyways, I didn't understand it. I asked my mom, and she was like, you sang Physical? And she was, oh my gosh, y'all. We still laugh about it. Okay, music trivia. We're going to do Grease trivia today. A couple of things. Number one, Stockard Channing was the oldest of the cast members playing a high schooler. I think she was like 33. The black pants at the very end where Sandy changes and becomes like, the greaser girl. She had to be sewn into those pants every day for a week. Additionally, when they filmed the carnival scene, it was like the hottest in LA in a very long time. She was miserable, still made it look good. I thought she was like the coolest thing ever in the end scene. And when they're singing, Look at Me, I'm Sandra D. It says, Elvis, Elvis, let me be, keep that pelvis far from me. That was the day Elvis died. Okay, there you go. So we're going to jump right in. A couple of things. People were asking, was Tylee really emancipated from Lori? I do not think she was, because Lori got the desertion charge for Tylee. So that would indicate to me she was never emancipated. She wouldn't have got that charge if she was. And I do believe her Aunt Annie at one point may have confirmed that. So yeah, I don't think she was. Also, I had a couple of emails and messages, and it's all cool because people just kind of wonder why or how I do things about, well, why haven't you called this family member out because they didn't do this or they did that, or it seems like this. And for me, it's kind of something actually that Fruit Loop and I decided very, very early on in the case. If I can't put my hand on a piece of paper and say for sure it happened or this is why it happened, I try to steer away from that. Number one, because other than meeting Kay and Larry, I haven't met any of these people, and I don't know any reasoning behind anything. And I don't want to assume. The last thing I want to do is ever cause pain to these families that are dealing with the unimaginable. Off the podcast, of course I do it all day. I definitely have my gears turning, but on here, it's not the forum for me personally. And I've read a lot of theories about a lot of people associated with the case, but fact-based is kind of just the safer way to go for me. But ultimately, I never ever want to cause a second of pain to anybody who's already suffering through this. And I'm not protecting anybody. It's just not how I roll. No offense to those who do. It happens in every single case that's covered in groups online, and these groups that meet together, they speculate. I love to speculate, but for here, we're just going to keep it fact based, and I'm not going to call anybody out that like on the last one I called Summer and Janice out a little bit, but that's because that came from their mouth. But anyway, so I just kind of wanted to clear that up. It's not that I'm hiding anything or protecting anybody. It's just a personal choice for me. So maybe at trial, some answers will become more clear. And then that's fair game. But for now, I'm not going to, I don't want to theorize about anything Adam did or didn't do, or, this family member, that family member. I don't feel like it's my place right now. So that's kind of it. All right. July 27th, we've got some text between Lori and Zulema. So Zulema at 8:26 in the morning. Hi, beautiful. How are you? The trip has been amazing. There are so many people that love the Lord in this country. I blessed the last city I was at and all those people, including a lot of my family members. I'm in another city and I see that my work here is different. I have a feeling this part will be swallowed by the sea. I'm blessing my family as I go. Great experience. So Lori texts right back. You are amazing. I feel I have been coming to you and shielding you as you work. It's so cool. Can't wait till you're back. Missing you so much. Zulema says, you're the best. I'm missing home already and I can't wait to see you. I have some work to do here. Yet. I blessed one land and I brought an earthquake in another city. Very powerful. I can't wait to tell you about it. So Zulema, Lori wants to know when Zulema's coming home, and she says very early on Thursday. So on the 28th, she also sends a text to Chad. Zulema does. Hi, Chad. How are you? The work here is going well. I'm being guided to what to do in each city I've visited. Tuesday, I'll be visiting Santiago, Chile Temple. I'm so excited to have that opportunity. For the last 5 days, I've had an energy in my right ear. It's like a wave, vibration, almost sounds, but not quite a sound. It intensifies at times, then it goes down until I can't even feel it. Could you see what that is? It almost feels like a new gift or communication. I think she got like a gnat stuck down in her ear. Chad responds the next day on the 29th at 12:56 p.m. Hi, Zulema. I'm happy your trip is going well. I can't wait to hear more about it. As for the vibration in your right ear, it is a way the spirit can tangibly give you answers. Of course, Chad says, I have that gift too. And it lets me know if there's something I need to notice or do that is of spiritual nature. I'm excited you are developing that gift. So on the 31st, then Zulema texts Lori at 8:08 a.m. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I developed a new gift while I was here, and it's been guiding me to the work I've done. I can't wait to tell you about it. Lori says, I can't wait to. Tomorrow you'll be home, right? So excited to see you. Let's get to work, baby girl. Z says, yes, I'll be home tomorrow at 8 a.m. We have a lot of work to do. And then Zulema replies, holy wow, that sounds like fun. I feel like this may be my last trip too, especially after all the work I've done here. It's coming to an end soon. I've seen the wickedness around, the pride, and all that needs to be cleansed here before the Lord comes in his glory. Have fun at the beach. Love you. Lori says, maybe we can clear the clouds here in San Diego for our last day. Zulema says, you got it. And then she says, I've been able to bless all the homes I've been at, except for this one, my brother's house. He has no belief in God or Jesus. Great destruction awaits the city, so he will be part of that. And Lori says, that's sad. Zulema says, yes, she's ready for takeoff on her way home. Lori says, yay, safe flights. I'll send angels. So on August 1st, Zulema says, wow, that's amazing. I have to pay closer attention to it from now on. That's so exciting. Thank you for letting me know. Don't know what that means. I'm looking forward to coming home and at the same time enjoying the last 2 days I have here. I think I may have called this. I just did some work in Santiago yesterday and called an earthquake on the coast and rains inland. Chad says, I just checked and yes, you made it happen. Zulema says, wow, that's fast. Thank you for checking for me. Serena is moving to Arizona in a couple of weeks. Do you know how she's doing? Is she still the same? No response from Chad that I could see. I think I missed, that was Chad she was texting, sorry. August the 2nd, Zulema asked Lori if she's going to that David Warwick thing tonight, and Lori says, gonna try. Don't have a babysitter. I'm at Mel's doing a podcast right now. Are you gonna go? I need us to all get together on Sunday night. So in August at some point, Kay and Larry are obviously concerned and contact JJ's school wanting to know if he was okay. Of course, the school was very limited on what they could tell them because of restrictions. And sometime in August, Tylee unenrolls from school in Arizona. So I was kind of thrown off by that because if you remember, Lori comes into the interview at the police station talking about Tylee having her GED. And maybe she did, but maybe she was taking some other classes or something. But I just thought it was odd she was unenrolling from the high school when she had her GED. So August the 1st, Charles's ex-wife emails Detective Moffitt and says they've spoken to Charles's divorce attorney. She said Lori's been asking Charles's sons for their address and they're concerned for their safety, rightfully so, right? She also says that they're having Charles's memorial service and they've hired security. On August the 2nd, Charles's brother Bobby calls Detective Moffitt, and Bobby said Charles told him a few months prior that he feared Lori was going to kill him for his life insurance money. He said Charles was not a violent person and would not fight back if confronted. He would have just left, and Bobby said he felt Lori and Alex had planned this out. So on August the 3rd, we know that Charles had his celebration of life held. And I want to read to you his obituary because it gives a good, solid picture of the man he was. And it says, Leland Charles Anthony Vallow, 62, of Houston, Texas, left this life to meet his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, on July 11th, 2019. He was born August 17th to Leland Eli and Tilda June Vallow of Lake Charles, Louisiana. He was preceded in death by both his parents and his sister, Nancy. He was a committed father to his sons, Cole and Zach, and JJ, and most proud that Cole and Zach earned their college degrees. Youngest son, JJ, age 7, is a child of special needs with whom Charles was adoringly engaged to ensure his success in life. As a brother, he positively impacted all of our lives, going far and beyond in the call of duty and expecting nothing in return. We will cherish him forever. He was fun-loving, kind, understanding, and compassionate. He was a 1974 graduate of, is it Barbie? High school, and attended McNeese State University, where he received a scholarship to pitch for the McNeese Cowboys. He was a member of Kappa Sigma fraternity and cherished many good times with his fraternity brothers. In 1975, as a freshman, he set a new McNeese University record by striking out 13 batters in the first college game he pitched. Holy moly. That's awesome. That's amazing. In 1977, he was drafted to play semi-pro ball in Houston. A gifted athlete, he had a passion for physical fitness and was an avid fan of the Dallas Cowboys and Houston Astros. As an experienced financial consultant, Charles guided thousands of families to safe and secure retirements. He practiced his profession as he lived his life: relationships, integrity, communication, and service to others. At American Equity, he was honored for being a top producer and ensuring the financial health and security for many. So then they list the whole family. I don't want to put everybody's name out there. They had the memorial service August 3rd from 4 to 9. So August 3rd, the same day as that celebration of life, Melaniece texts Alex and says, "Is Leilani Lee? Save my number for you guys only." The contact was saved on the phone as Miriam. On August 5th was JJ's last day of school. So the same day, Kay emails Detective Moffitt. "Have you spoken with their bishop, Gabe? Might help you gain insight into Lori and the cult situation that she denies, because the church will excommunicate her because her cult is not condoned by the Mormon church. It would kill her if that happened. I would love for that to happen. You go, Kay. Can't remember if I told you. 58 Days and No Lori. She appears March 28th, only to upset Charles and argue. That day, Charles offered to fly her to Houston on March 31st to see JJ. She said she couldn't because she had made a commitment to help a friend in Hawaii do something. Then, that when she returned from Hawaii, she would head to Houston. She left for another 2 weeks before she finds time to see JJ in Houston. During that time, nobody except Alex could communicate with her. Nobody knew where she was. I think she's having an affair then and still is. Jason Mao is the right hand of cult leader. Can't think of his name. Thinking out loud. I have a voice recording, maybe 2, of that day when Lori appeared, March 29th. I can send it if you want. So on August the 8th, this picture of JJ and Bailey is taken. That sweet puppy and that sweet boy. And then you think about how Janice and Summer were on that interview saying it was actually Charles that liked that dog. Although, if you remember, the first night they had Bailey, I believe JJ slept through the night. They called it an it, that sweet dog. August the 9th, Lori places the ad to sell Bailey under the name Lolo Ryan. And I was kind of wondering, was she maybe using that name so that people couldn't Google her name and come up with this dog ad? Because I know if Kay or Larry or Kresha had seen that ad, they would know something's really, really wrong. I do think that's why she used that name, maybe. So the ad said, Bailey has such a sweet spirit. He has brought so much love to his home, but his owner recently died and he needs a new home. He is fully trained with certification as a service dog, up to date on vaccinations, has been trained with children in the home, non-smoking home. Bailey is sweet and friendly around other dogs, looking for new owners who will appreciate and love him the way he has been loved. Spent $7,000 on service training. He is a full-bred golden doodle, has experience on airplanes, has experience with people with autism. And she was asking $2,500 for the dog that was bought to keep JJ safer and ease his anxieties. So you can assume how I feel about that. So then on August 9th, Kay sends another email to Detective Moffat. And let me just say, Kay was on it. She was in constant contact with them. Anything she heard or thought, they were informed. But ultimately, it was about JJ. And it says, this is on August the 9th. We are seriously worried about JJ's safety and well-being. Is it possible for you to check his school on Monday to see if he's there, been there, and he's okay? If he's out of his routine, he will be combative, uncooperative, etc. His teacher will know how home life is by his actions. It's very true. When I worked with kids with autism, we could tell when home was tough. Lori hasn't responded to text or calls since the text she sent about my kids getting nothing and I got all the insurance money. We're extremely worried we can't lose him too. Please, please, please help us. We're heartbroken. We cannot lose him too. If Lori was sane, I wouldn't be worried, but she's not. She stated she didn't want him anymore in January. Now she doesn't have $1 million and she really won't want him now. Other than a measly Social Security check for her at $1,900 and JJ at $1,900, she's screwed unless she has a new boyfriend with deep pockets. Who knows? Please help us. Whew. Their load was heavy, y'all. And now it's time for a word from our paid sponsor of the week, Everlywell. If you've been experiencing symptoms and don't know where to start, Everlywell is committed to listening and supporting your journey towards better health and wellness. The Everlywell Women's Health Test measures 11 biomarkers known to play a role in your overall health and wellness, and checks for any abnormal levels that may be keeping you from feeling your best. Here's how it works. Everlywell ships products straight to you with everything needed in one package. To take your at-home lab test, simply collect your sample and use the included prepaid shipping label to mail your test back to a certified lab. Your physician-reviewed results get sent to your phone or device in just days. Then you can share the results with your primary care physician to help guide your next steps. If you ordered vitamin and supplements, you can start adding them to your daily routine right away. It's really simple. Over 1 million people have trusted Everlywell to support their health and wellness goals, and you should too. Personally, I took the metabolism test and found out I was lacking in several areas, which explains why I've been feeling really run down lately. I discussed the results with my doctor, and now we have a game plan to get me back to feeling energetic all day and not just in the morning. And for listeners of Pretty Lies and Alibis, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/whattheworld. That's everlywell.com/whattheworld for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/whattheworld. August the 10th, 12:18 a.m. Lori texts Chad to check on JJ. She said he woke up saying crazy stuff and wouldn't go back to sleep. She said he was talking to his evil spirit named Blake. Chad responds that JJ was still JJ, and he was being told by that JJ's spirit recognized Blake was evil and unsettled by him. So you see now,
my brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Lori, August 10th. This is less than a month before the Rexburg move. This is now less than a month before Tylee's going to be murdered. And you start to see Bailey has evil spirits. Now, JJ's got somebody named Blake. At this point, Tammy's spirit is dwindling. And we know Lori started calling Tylee dark around July, according to Gibb. So also on August 10th, Kay and Larry see JJ for the last time on FaceTime. And Kay knew something was up. She told Keith Morrison on Dateline, it's like somebody was holding something written up here for him to read. And as soon as he says, hey, mama, hey, papa, and then looks up and you can see his eyes move and he goes, ha, I gotta go, bye. And that was it. She said in January 2020 at a press conference in Idaho that Lori, being a hairstylist, she usually kept JJ's hair in great condition. But on that last FaceTime call, she thought it looked matted and it wasn't his usual style. So we know that Lori was not looking out for JJ at this point. Probably in August, it was more Tylee taking care of JJ because Lori was in her own little wackadoodle world and didn't take care of her son. Someone had told her, let's see here. I'm sorry where I'm at. Oh, also, Kay said someone had told her recently that Lori didn't want JJ because he ties her down. And she had also heard from someone else as well as Charles. Kay mentions that she thinks the reason she took Charles and JJ's clothes from the house was because she was going to keep the house and didn't want either one of them. She said her epiphany has significantly heightened their concerns for JJ. She also said they would maybe try to get court-ordered visitation. That is a thing. Grandparents can file for grandparent visitation. Kay said Lori would keep JJ away not because she wants him, but to punish her and Larry. Kay said Lori is pissed about the change in beneficiary, and Kay says she wishes she would call and ask for money, and Lori would give JJ to them. So investigators noted that in August, it seems like Lori and Chad were having a little bit of a hard time carrying on their affair, with Chad still being married. So on August the 11th, Lori totally does this, I think, in a way that is meant to panic Chad. He has found his goddess that gives him loin fires. And now she says this, you should give all your love and attention to your wife and family. I'm just a distraction. Go have fun with your family. I really want you to. I just can't be in the way anymore. If things change, we can talk. There you go. But we have nothing until things change anyway. That's just manipulation. It's like waving, food in front of a dog and not letting him have it. So I think that might have been the minute that Chad really like hyper speeds into his plan to murder Tammy. I think that was, a lot of the reason that he needed to hurry. So on August the 11th, again, Kay emails Detective Moffat. It was about, do you recognize a number? And it was redacted. JJ finally FaceTimed us yesterday for a whopping 36 seconds. When he calls off, then it's not unusual for him to quickly hang up, but then he calls back and hangs up 5 or 10 times. He's adorable. We have not seen or talked to him in approximately 2 weeks. All contact with him is extremely short, as was the call yesterday. He's very easy to manipulate, and his diabolical, homicidal mother knows this. When he calls yesterday, his voice is always exuberant and loud. He was subdued, to say the least, on yesterday's call. We were encouraged seeing him, yet worried due to his lack of excitement. Says, last night I requested from Lori via email and text for permission to visit JJ in Phoenix next weekend. I'm sure it will go unanswered, but I must try. I have reason to believe they're still in the area due to her niece, Melaniece, and Brandon Boudreaux's divorce status. I'm assuming Melaniece can't move out of the area due to child visitation restrictions for her, which is a common mandate sometimes with parental visitation. Per is redacted. Melanie is in a cult with Lori, which is the reason for Melaniece and Brandon's divorce. So she also talks about when Lori says she didn't want JJ. Somebody had said that, but then here, Kay said it triggered a memory of Charles telling her the exact same thing. I responded that Lori said that only to hurt him and she didn't mean it. And Kay says, I can't imagine a mother feeling that way because I can't believe a mother could feel that way. 100%. Yeah, that's any normal mother would not feel that way. And she mentions that's why JJ's clothes were gone too on the 30th. Let's see here. She placed a call Friday to his school administrator, one of his teachers, and the attorney who handled their divorce proceedings in February, which obviously we know Charles didn't follow through on. She mentions court-ordered visitation if necessary. I say that knowing she won't give up trying to keep us away. And anyway, so she said that Lori's trying to punish them too, and Kay says, except murder me too would not be smart. And that's right. Her text to me about 2 weeks ago were pictures of the original insurance policy naming her the beneficiary, then the one where Charles named me. The next text redacted on there. She is pissed. I suppose she's having her cult friends try to intimidate me on LinkedIn. She's got to do more than that. I wish she would call and ask for money if she gives us JJ. So anyways, August 12th, Lori has that meeting with Social Security at 1:30 p.m. in Apache Junction, Arizona. So the amount that she did that calculator online, that apparently was around the amount that she was told at this meeting, around $4,000. So August 13th, Kay and Detective Moffat are emailing, trying to find the VIN for Charles's Jeep. Or car, I'm sorry. She sends a photo of the tag and explains the handicap plate because JJ would take off running in parking lots, which is totally dangerous. And August the 14th, Zulema texts Chad. Hello, Chad. How are you doing? I've been busy here. I was asked to work on the San Andreas fault. I'm sorry, y'all. The San Andreas fault since yesterday. Who asked her to do that? I was taken to a valley today, but I didn't recognize it. I was standing on some kind of platform and I could see the whole valley below. Today, I feel great opposition. I keep feeling attacked. Even my phone was possessed this morning. I keep casting out, but I think I need your help. I feel they're trying to stop me from what I'm doing. Chad says, okay, I'll work on it right now. There's a response from Zulema that's redacted. Then she says, this is where I went today. It was brown and gray, perhaps meaning it was fall. It may be the reason I was shown that. Those hillsides are already quite brown and gray. So I do feel it will be very soon. There's no response from Chad on that. But Zulema responds, okay, sooner than I thought. August 14th, big thing happens. Lori ordered the glow-in-the-dark Malachite titanium rings from an Etsy store for $259.98. The sizes were a 4 and 11.5. The order went through on the 15th, so she ordered it the 14th. It was paid for on the 15th, but the money was refunded to her because the owner of the company, I believe he was a student. He didn't have time to make them, but she did send pictures of the rings to Melaniece, which makes me think Melaniece knew the plan to get married. What else did she know? The order confirmation was sent and all that, but like I said, she didn't get them. August the 16th, Lori changed the deposit of Tylee's Social Security benefits from Tylee's bank account into her own personal account, Lori's. And I'm thinking here, why would she do that? Well, we're at August 16th. Tylee will be murdered in less than a month. And I really do think she did that at that time because she needed Tylee's signature to do so. That's all I can think of. On the same day, a representative from Charles's life insurance company emails Detective Moffat asking if Lori is a suspect in Charles's murder. August the 17th, Melaniece texts Lori asking, did they pick up Bailey? Lori didn't respond. The same day, Lori reserves a budget rental van for the move. Zulema texts Chad at 10:38 a.m. on that same day. Hello, Chad. It was so great to see you and work with you. I feel privileged to be part of such amazing work. I hope all is well with you. Could you teach me how to use the new gift I have? I have the vibration in my ear again today. I'm not sure how to read it or what to do with it. And Chad doesn't answer because Chad's probably like, either you got a gnat in there or you need to go have some ear wax taken out. Y'all. Oh, by the way, I may have somebody to come on here and read Loin Fire with me, and it's a guy working on that. So on the next day, August 18th, she texts Chad again, Zulema, I have a question. Did Alex and I work together in another creation? Chad finally responds, hi, Zulema. The vibration in your ear is basically an angel saying, be alert. It is intended to lift your mind above this world. Sometimes it means you need to perform a task or simply make sure you are shielded from an attack. It's like having the Holy Ghost in audible form. Yes, you two worked together during the fourth creation. And Zulema says, that makes perfect sense now. Julie did some clearing on me today, and I found 3 million entities that were attacking me. I felt it since I got back from Chile. I also feel the vibration, and now it makes more sense. Julie also found a trapped emotion that Alex and I had together from another creation. Oh, Lord, y'all. Where there was a lot of grief and crying. Sorry, y'all. Chad said, we can talk more about that, but it is related to the rebellion of Lucifer at the end of the fourth creation. You two stood strong, but we're sad at the loss of close friends. Zulema says, of course, that makes perfect sense. And that's why she has found sadness and crying. Y'all, these people believe this stuff like there's no tomorrow. She's going to work on the San Andreas fault. Oh, I'm going to cough. Excuse me. All right, there we go. August 18th, Charles's phone bill shows his total due for July 27th was $1,076.43. There were a total of 22 lines on this plan between phones. And as you know, iPads, you can get the number attached so you can use it anywhere without Wi-Fi. That's a lot of lines. So August 20th, Lori travels to Phoenix to Idaho using the name Lori Ryan. August 22nd, there is a screenshot of a confirmation for Hampton and Rexburg. And there are photos of the school that JJ would eventually go to in Rexburg on Lori's phone. And also photos at BYU on this date. I really, really do think that maybe, if Tylee, we know Tylee would have never just let JJ go with them, but I don't think Tylee wanted to move from what I've heard. So, I totally wouldn't put it past Lori to say, hey, I was up there. I talked to BYU. You're in for this semester. That would be very exciting for a girl who's 16 about to turn 17. I think between JJ and I'm theorizing here, and I say I don't do that, but Lori's fair game. I wouldn't put it past her to fill Tylee with all this that she's going to BYU. So August the 23rd, Zulema texts Chad. I'm surprised Lori didn't rate her dark as much as she texted Chad, by the way. Zulema texts Chad, hello, Chad. I had a conversation with my daughter, Kara, today, and it didn't go well. She doesn't want to go to Rexburg, and she really feels like I'm abandoning her if I leave without her. I feel really bad right now. I had a prompting there the other day to ask you if you could see who she was before this life. She may be able to start seeing the truth. So, instead of a normal mom saying, my daughter would miss me if I just pack up and move to Idaho, can you check her and see who she was before this life? It's not like she didn't even acknowledge that her daughter was going to miss her mom. I was told this week that I will go to Rexburg eventually, but not right now. So I just need to prepare for when that eventually is. Thank you for always being there for me. I'm so grateful for you. And then Chad responds, thank you. Thank you, Zulema. I will find out about Kara. I agree with you about Rexburg. Not immediately, but eventually. Probably because Chad didn't want her chewing his ear off all day. She's annoying. She's one of the people you turn the alerts off on your text messages. So Zulema says, I'm so grateful, or Chad says, I'm so grateful for you too. Let's talk soon. So on the 24th, Chad responds, my phone was acting up, but I was able to send Kara's probationary to Lolo. She should have forwarded them to you. Kara is a powerful person. Naturally, the adversary doesn't want her in Idaho and is causing opposition. But I feel Kara's heart will change soon. Zulema says, thank you, Chad. You have no idea how much peace your words give me. Chad says, you're so very welcome. August 25th, Lori travels from Idaho to Phoenix again using the name Lori Ryan. Remember, I think she had, I don't know if it was her Hawaiian, must have been her one with, was it her Hawaiian license from Charles, or did it still have Ryan? I think maybe it had Ryan on it, but that would have been expired. Yeah. Anyways, August 27th, Lori has those utility and the internet turned on at the townhouse in Rexburg. August the 30th, poor Bailey, JJ service dog, is picked up by his trainer. Lori tried to sell him online. You can't do that with therapy dogs. That's a big, big no-no. So the dates for this for me are confusing about when Colby last saw and talked to Lori, JJ, and Tylee, but he said it was in the middle of August. And then he said it was at the end of August. And I understand everything might be a blur for him. I'm totally not saying anything. He told Justin Lum that Lori showed up at his work with JJ and Tylee and tells him that they're moving. She said she could not tell him where and told him it was for his own protection. She said she got a new job and he noticed Tylee seemed to be sad about moving and she didn't say too much when he saw her. He hugged all of them and said he didn't know if they were staying in Arizona or not, but he thought it was good to get JJ and Tylee out of the house that Charles was murdered in. Absolutely. He told investigators in Gilbert that growing up, Lori would move around a lot and change her phone number. He said he changed schools a lot and sometimes they would stay only months at a time. He said when she said she was moving, he just assumed it's because Lori constantly did that when he was growing up. That had to be tough. Never having your feet planted, keeping your group of friends, always having to be the new kid. That had to be tough. He also said this is the last day he FaceTimed Tylee. So we're going to finish up here soon. A friend of Tylee's gave an interview in January of 2020 with the Post-Register and said that Tylee originally did plan to stay in Arizona, but decided to move to Idaho for JJ's sake. And also, on the 30th, that was JJ's last day at his school in Arizona, that amazing school. I've actually read about it. It is phenomenal. August the 31st, 3:33 p.m., Lori moves to Rexburg, and she calls it Zion with Tylee and JJ. Lori tells Gibb that Tylee will be attending BYU. Again, Tylee drives the Jeep alone to Rexburg and spoke with her friend on the phone for about 20 minutes while she was driving. She told her friend the reason they were moving to Idaho was because she was attending BYU and that Lori had also gotten a job there. So on the moving in, neighbors confirmed seeing Tylee when they moved in and saw her briefly a couple of times after they moved in, but not since the first or second week of September. Tylee's friend said once Tylee was in Rexburg, they texted consistently at first. And normally, Tylee was known to respond within about 20 minutes to text messages, but suddenly the responses would take 2 hours, which was unusual, and eventually Tylee stopped responding. In the last text message she sent to Tylee, she asked about school, and the response was that she started the next day. The following day, her friend texted to ask her about her first day of school, and those responses never came. That was no response from Tylee. So Colby told Dateline between September and October, every time he reached out, he'd say, "Hey, Ty, I love you." It'd be like, "Hey, love you, super busy." Or their mom would say that. He would text her, "Is Tylee okay?" And Lori would say, "Yeah, she's just super busy." So we'll finish this up right here. And then this is September the 2nd. At 3:56 p.m., Zulema texts Alex, "How was the trip?" And Alex says, "Pretty good considering the dark portal we brought with us." And Zulema puts a question mark. Alex says, "Tylee." And then he says, "Can you call a tornado for a single person?" Zulema says, "Tornado? Maybe an inner tornado." Alex says, "Inner is good." Zulema says, "I think you guys will be led to deal with the dark one when it's time." Alex says, "Agreed." And then Alex says in Spanish, "Es cierto," which means it's true. So we're going to end there. Bless. Tylee had no idea. She had no idea what she was moving to. She had no idea how she was being talked about by the uncle that was obviously her favorite place to stay at. Just the ultimate betrayal with these kids and these spouses. And so this is going to start getting into, we're getting very close to the murders of the kids. We're days away from Tylee's murder. JJ's comes a little bit later. Then we have Tammy Daybell. So we're making progress here. My goal really is to be done with this series by the time the Wagner case starts at the end of August. I'll always pop in if there's big news in any of the other cases we're following, but I just did an update on cases. Things are kind of slow right now. So we'll keep diving into this. And just a big welcome to all of our new listeners. I appreciate you so much. And we have a lot of big things happening. Wagner trial this month, January, found out today, Lori and Chad and possibly Alec Murdaugh for the double murders of his wife and son. So anyways, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. Sorry I stumbled over some words. It's late. I've been back to school mode. My big kid's first day was today, and then the younger one goes next week, and it's just like school shopping and haircuts and all right. I'm grateful to do it, though. They're awesome kids. All right, you guys have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. And by the way, don't sing physical at church on Sunday. Just a word of advice from me. All right, we'll see you soon. If I can click out of this.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins actually found in breast milk. We're the first and only US-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We even conducted the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in a quarter century, with clinically proven benefits like easier digestion, less spit up, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. And we make our own formula in the USA and our very own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.